have heard the term net neutrality thrown around recently. That's because a federal judge struck down the FCC's net neutrality rules last week. And that means companies like Comcast are no longer required to treat all websites equally. Sites like Netflix that demand significant bandwidth to stream videos could be forced to pay a fee for enhanced service. And Netflix could pass that fee on to you. And that's not all. Without net neutrality guidelines, you could be forced to pick and choose the sites you want to access and pay accordingly. This mock ad has been making the rounds on the web. It's for a fictional internet service provider. But my next guest says without mandated net neutrality, our internet use could soon be nickeled and dimed this way. Susan Crawford is a visiting professor of intellectual property at Harvard Law School. She's also a fellow at the Roosevelt Institute and author of Captive Audience, the Telecom Industry and Monopoly Power in the New Gilded Age. Welcome to you, Susan.
Glad to be here.
Well, one of the problems with this issue is the title itself. I mean, it's just eye-glazing. And people haven't been able to get into it because they don't know what it is. How do you explain it simply?
It's really very simple. Imagine that your home is just like a gold mine or a farm, something very productive, and there's only one railroad line going to your home. And that means that every single time you want to put your products on the market or you want to understand what's going on in the rest of the world, you have to go through this one gatekeeper. Well, high-speed internet access is exactly that in America. It's just like the rail line going to everyone's home. And if there is that one wire into your home, your whole informational destiny depends on the good grace of that actor. Right now, we've got neither oversight nor competition in America when it comes to the providers of this basic utility service. And so people are quite anxious about their power in the absence of government intervention to do something.
Well, why did this federal court strike it down? I mean, because the FCC was saying we have to have open access, everybody has to be treated equally. Why did the court strike that down?
Well, the FCC had trapped itself in a legal puzzle, which was 10 years ago. The FCC deregulated high-speed internet access. They thought that competition would protect Americans, so they classified it as X. Now, today, they want to regulate with the other hand. So deregulate in 2002, regulate now. The court said you can't do that unless you classify high-speed internet access as thing Y instead of thing X. So we've got a legal tussle on our hands, and the FCC now has to change the labeling for high-speed internet access.
All right, there's a couple of graphics I want to show you because it's actually fairly startling considering the United States is really given credit for getting going with the internet. If you look at the highest average connection speed, we're down at number 8. You know, well behind South Korea. How can that be?
This is all because of policy. You know, these high-speed internet access networks are not built by magic to serve everybody at the highest possible speed. So actually, the story's worse than that when it comes to...
there's a cost one. Yeah, let's put that up too. Because we're even further down when you look at the average internet costs. We're all the way down at 21, so we're already paying a lot more than a lot of other countries.
Right. I just got back from Stockholm, and I'm paying 4 times as much for a connection that's 17 times worse than what people get in Sweden. Why did that happen? Because the government there, many years ago, decided that they needed to make sure people had choices. So they built a very basic wholesale network that the city controls, and then the market operates, retail operators are selling very cheap service all over the country. That's where we need to get to in the United States. Instead, we deregulated, and it's just like banking, just like anything else. If you leave it alone, they'll systematically charge a lot to the rich, leave out the poor, and messes up.
If it was deregulated, why isn't it a fair market at this point? Why aren't there really cheap services and more expensive? I mean, you'd think it would foster competition.
You'd think it would, but where consolidation is possible, competition is impossible. So the major cable companies divided up the country and consolidated. The telcos backed off. So they're not selling wires anymore. They're selling wireless, separate marketplace. So they've divided up the market, and they're reaping enormous returns. For cable, high-speed internet access is a 97% profitable product for them.
All right, what's the worst thing that can happen if this court maybe it could go to the Supreme Court, but if these rules stay in place as they are?
Well, the court is nudging the FCC to classify this thing the right way, to say it's a utility. And if the FCC does that, we'll have a bright high-speed internet access future. I'm a little bit giving up on federal policy. I want cities in America to build alternative fiber networks, so we're not trapped by these guys, and Boston in particular should do that.
And alternative cable networks, too.
Well,
that's a whole other, I know. All right, maybe it'll all be one thing. All right, Susan Crawford, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me on.
Coming with your insights.